Well, yeah. If you probably following my Twitch, you probably see like a pattern that I'm making lives, but I'm just stopping them in the middle. Yeah, because those topics didn't seem to interest me at all. Yeah, and also the videos are not engaging to even make me react to it. Yeah. So I thought, yeah, let's crash them. But I think today's video is going to be full, and I think I can react to this entirely because it's a comparison between Assassin. No, I'm not going to say that word ever in my life. I'm not going to say that word ever in my life. Yeah, I can't even say the word properly. Assassins. Yeah, I can say that word as a word, but if I say it with Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Shadows, yeah. Assassin's Creed. See, I can tell it. If I'm only saying that Assassins, I can say it. Assassin's Creed Shadows. I can tell it properly. Fuck it. I'm not going to say that word ever again. Yeah. AC Shadows versus Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. Let's see what Jake said in this video. Yeah. And also like yeah, I kind of view the video like a little bit, but I know it's going to be a banger because dude, it's freaking comparison between Ghost of Tsushima. It's a freaking comparison with Ghost of Tsushima, a game that is very well received by fans, and even freaking Japanese people be like, yeah, let's give them a ambassador role. Why not? Yeah, really, game is so cool. If I have to say, yeah, game is so cool. The combat is cool. The world is cool. The world exploration is cool. Yeah, if I have to say, it's probably one of the cool historical games of Japan. Yeah, really. Really, everybody should learn something from Ghost of Tsushima. Either you are a AAA developer or you are an indie developer. Whichever developer you are, they need to develop some. They need to understand something from that game. It's a game made for entertainment and for fun. Simple as that. It's not a game made for you to put this here. To put this game legends. Ah, it's not meant for that. Yeah, if you want to make that kind of games, freaking made that game for phone. Okay? I'm not saying phone games are wrong. I'm saying yeah, do it in the phone games. Don't give a fuck about it. I'm not saying yeah, I never say hentai games and phone games are wrong. I never say that. Because I'm one of the people who play them. But why you freaking want to push everything in a normal game? Find it disgusting, bro. Yeah. Find it disgusting. Whatever. Whatever, yeah. And also, I'm not saying yo having some adult scenes in normal games is wrong. I'm saying yo, if you want to push them normally, like they have a good relationship and etc. Yeah, like what we get in Witcher 3, like what we get in Cyberpunk 2077, like what we get in like these games, bro. Yeah, I forgot the name. I forgot the name, bro. Yeah, this game, bro. Yeah. I forgot the name. Okay, I forgot the name. Whatever. Yeah, there are games that actually did adult scenes properly. They have this kind of like build up to the adult scene. But this game, bro, they just like yeah, yo, I want it. I love it. Those are the dialogues, and I need to understand their emotions with those dialogues. Fuck it, bro. Man, fuck it.
Look, Ubisoft's latest game, Assassin's Creed Shadows, was always gonna live in the shadow of Ghost of Tsushima. Fans have been
Well, it's not always. It was meant to live in the shadows of Ghost of Tsushima. Dude, it was meant to live in the shadows of Ghost of Tsushima. Like, bro, they set the bar so high for a historically Japanese game. They set the bar so high. The game is cool, yeah. As I said, I start with that. The game is cool, the world is cool, the world building is cool. The freaking Japan be like, nah, let's make them ambassadors of Japan. Yeah, they set the bar so high. To a point, every freaking game that made in historical Japan is going to live in the shadows of that game. They need to do something new, something very much new in either story or in the world building. They need to do something. that actually be like, nah, this game is actually way better than Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, they need to do something. Otherwise, otherwise every game that make in the historical Japan is going to live in the shadows of Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, not even AC shadows. Every game. Yeah, I'm telling you to every game that actually going to make on historical Japan. Yeah, really. Ghost of Tsushima set a bar. You need to break that bar to even think like, yo, this is a new game. That's way better than Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, you need to do something new in story department or even world building department or even like combat or even like, yeah, if, that every aspect of the game is just sensational, bro. Yeah, the combat is fine, the world building is fine, the world exploration is fine, and the freaking story is fine, and the freaking characters are fine. Bro, if I had to say, it's like an all-rounder, bro. The freaking Ghost of Tsushima is an all-rounder. Comparing that game to AC Shadows is like comparing a fully seasonal football player to a nobody. Yeah, comparing the wins of fully seasonal football player to a nobody. Yeah, really. Really, that is a comparison. If I had to say the only thing good in the AC Shadows was the freaking world building. Even that is also like a mess. Like it has some political issues. Like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. But still, the world building itself, mwah, is great. Yeah, I will give points where it needs. Yeah, the world building is great. I never going to say, but the parkour is shit. Yeah, compared to world game, the parkour is shit. The combat is shit. The freaking world exploration is shit. Like, yeah, like, yeah, there is this pattern, like, for example, let me say this, like, there is this pattern, like, yeah, you see the same kind of location in a different location, but still the locations are like, yeah, what, every 10 to 15 minutes apart, you still see the same location. Yeah, even though the both locations are like 15 to 16 minutes apart. Why? And also, there is the randomness in the world building is the randomness in the world building didn't done properly. Yeah, the randomness did properly in the AC shadows. And also, like, yeah, if I be nitpicking, the seasonal change is not cool. If I have to say the only game that did seasonal changes way better, Hogwarts Legacy, bro. Yeah, that game just like, yeah, next level. Yeah, that game just next level. Yeah, that game just did, now. Fuck it, we're going to do it way better, and they did it. But this game, they kind of touched it. Yeah, but it is not great. It is just okay, okay at best, okay at best. Yeah, maybe, yeah. That's it. Yeah, yeah, but still, the combat itself is like laggy, janky, whatever. Yeah, by the way, I didn't play AC Shadows. I just using Let's Plays from Redbird because why not? Uh, Bro, as I'm seeing the game, I can definitely say, yeah, I can see. I'm following Redbird here. See here, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Here, see, I'm actually following Redbird. I'm actually, yeah. See here, even here, see here, yeah. It easily say, yeah, while I'm watching the game, while I'm watching the video, while I'm eating, I can definitely say this is probably one of the games I don't enjoy. Really, this is probably one of the games I don't enjoy. And also, Ghost of Tsushima, I played it. I can definitely say this game never holds a candle to this game. Never, never. Whatever else can you
begging
say?
for years for Ubisoft to make an Assassin's Creed game set in Japan. And I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? You're essentially a ninja in these games anyway, and the whole concept of the series, switching up historical settings with each entry, it just seemed like Japan was an obvious slam dunk. It took them a long time to get around to it, though. So long that Ghost of Tsushima beat them to the punch in many ways, and at the time was considered an improvement over what Ubisoft was doing at the time.
It's still considered a improvement over the AC Shadows, AC whole genre. It's still one of the more improvements. It's still the improvement of what AC Shadows doing. Really.
Time. Still, a lot can change in 5 years, and Shadows is meant to be this kind of big.
But nothing is changed. It's the same Ubisoft formula with cutting some shit. That's it. Yeah, that's the best. That's the good way to put it. It's the same formula from Ubisoft, but they cut some shit and added some nothing bullshit. Like for example, like building your base. Who wants to play that? Who wants to play that, bro? Huh? When the freaking main story is shit, who wants to put their time on there? Like yeah, who wants to put their time on there? It's like let's see the sole reason Gwent is good because the main story attach because the main story because the main story is good, so we want some minor destruction from the story. Yeah, so we play the Gwent. Yeah, so we can get a minor destruction from the story. We play the Gwent and get some coin. Yeah, that's how it goes. But this game, the main story is shit. The main combat is shit. But they be like, nah, let's build your base. For what? Freaking bullshit, bro. Yeah, if I had to say the base building doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. Yeah, whatsoever that doesn't make sense to me.
Big refresh for the Assassin's Creed series, and it seems like a lot of people are enjoying it. We were pretty critical in our review.
Mm, you may you may be like what? Maybe Jake be like, nah. Let's give them some headpads. Yeah, because they're crying. No, yeah. The people from Ubisoft are crying, bro. Yeah, like, I can have noticed it. They're freaking going with. We have 2 million players. We have 3 million players, but they're not telling yo how many copies they sold. They won't tell that. They freaking know, bro. Yeah, they freaking know. They freaking know. Like for example, the Steam itself they have like what? They didn't even reach 100k players. The Steam itself they didn't even reach 100k players. Shame. And also the Japan PlayStation sales 1,000 to 3,000. Japan PlayStation sales. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you probably think why he comparing Japan because why not, right? Japan is also part of the world. We can get a sense of how many they sold, right? If Japan, yeah, if you go with 3,000 copies for Japan, let's say how many countries we have? How many countries are there in the world? 195. Calculator. 195 countries into 3,000 equal to 585,000. 585,000. 500. Yeah, you probably use like what? 585,000. Yeah, you probably use the term. Yeah, if every if every like yeah if every let me say it properly. Yeah, if every country buy at least 3,000 copies, they reach five 585,000. 585,000 copies. It's nothing number. Even if every country buy at least 10,000 copies, they might reach 1.95 million. It is also nothing number. The amount of money they they used it to make AC Shadows. The amount of money they used to make AC Shadows 1.95 million copies or nothing. Or nothing. Nothing, bro. Yeah. They really lost the plot entirely. Not even like yeah. Not even like yeah. Maybe they lost in the climax. No. They lost the plot entirely. Entirely. Like yeah. This game this game is easily one of the biggest failures for Ubisoft. After that game, like yeah, that thing, yeah, what is that thing? This thing is this pirate game, I think, yeah, pirate game. Yeah, Skull and Bones, yeah.
You, but either way, I think it's a fun conversation to look at the differences and similarities of these two games. We're not even here to talk about like which is technically the better game. We want to talk about the differences. Which game is actually better is really up to you and your preferences. We're just interested in looking at what makes them different, and from there, you can draw your own conclusions because I think
Well, that's probably one of the good ways to put it, yeah. Because that's probably one of the good ways to put it. If I have to say, the AC Shadows doesn't have anything better compared to Ghost of Tsushima, yeah. Yeah, no, there is no way. But still, yeah, let's see what Jake will say.
both games honestly have their strengths and weaknesses. Some more pronounced than others, but we're not here to tell you what to think. We just found that
Jake be like, nah, I need to make a video, but I can just kept on slandering AC Shadows even if it's bad. Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. He needs to make a video, but he can just slander AC Shadows all the time. Otherwise, the people will be like, nah, the people will be like, nah, why is he slandering us? We giving you money. Yeah, we giving you money to do promotions. Why is he slandering us? Yeah, I'm not saying Ubisoft gives money to Gameranx, but I'm just telling as hypothetical. Yeah, maybe they give for promotions and stuff. Yeah, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Okay, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But still, yeah, but still I kind of understand what you're trying to say is like this. Yeah, I need to make a video. Let's get this over with. I don't want to get into this kind of like bullshit. The game is good. The game is bad. Scenario. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
it was interesting that we have two open world stealth action games set in a historical Japan that can be directly compared to
Bro, see, bro. Yeah, see, bro.
open world stealth action games set in a historical Japan that was interesting that we have
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, when I said the world is way better than when I said the Ghost of Tsushima world is way better than AC Shadows.
some more pronounced than others, but we're not here to tell you what to think. We just found that it was interesting.
The both are stealth, but there is this different aesthetic to this. This is Ghost of Tsushima and this is AC Shadows. Yeah,
That we have two open world stealth action games set in a
see, Ghost of Tsushima, AC Shadows.
historical Japan that can be directly
Ghost of Tsushima, AC Shadows.
compared to one another.
Ghost of Tsushima, AC Shadows.
And while yes, there's Rise of the Ronin, and that's a whole other thing. That game
Like, bro, see, you see that, right? You see this, right? Yeah, you see this, right? You see this? They freaking every aspect of this, like what? Ghost of Tsushima is like sensational, bro. Sensational. If we compare that to AC Shadows, that's the reason the people will be like, no, fuck this game. We have a better version. Why you want to play a game that is fully built with controversies when we have a better version? When you have a better version for cheaper price. That's what people will think, bro. That's what people will think easily. Because the story itself is not anything good in the AC Shadows. The story itself is not anything good. It is just mediocre at best. Mediocre. A mediocre at best. And also the characters are shit. The characters are complete shit. The voice acting is shit. The freaking mocap is shit. And the freaking combat is shit. When you have this many shits, why people want to put their time on AC Shadows when they can enjoy their time in Ghost of Tsushima. In the end, they're both the same games, but with different stories. They're both the same games, bro. Very much same games, but with different stories. That's it. Really, that's it. If I have to say, Ghost of Tsushima did way better job than AC Shadows. I hope Ghost of Yote Ghost of Yote picks up the torch properly and give a good game. I hope. I know there is controversy going on with that. What is that? Yeah, the main lead of the Ghost of Yote, but still, I'm fine with it. Who gives a fuck? If game story is good, and if game and if game and if game just and if game just only relies on what they can do and what and take lessons from Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, I'm fine with it. But if they take lessons from and if they take lessons from AC Shadows, fuck them. Yeah, fuck them. But if they take lessons from Ghost of Tsushima, I'm fine. Because Ghost of Tsushima did a way better job. I'm actually like skeptical, but still also like hopeful for Ghost of Yote. Yeah.
compared to one another. And while yes, there's Rise of the Ronin and that
Yeah, I still need to play this game, yeah, but I had so much good stuff about this game, bro. I had so much good stuff about this game. So much. Let's hope I can play the game at some point. Yeah, and also I don't have time to play games, bro. Yeah. I have my work related stuff and also like yeah, I just did a 2 days 2 days train journey. My my body is just sore. Yeah, I don't have time to play games. Nah,
it's a whole other thing. That game's off to
I'm actually like yeah, I'm actually like happy that people who play games and post games like Riot Bird. Yeah, I'm actually happy because I can put that video in a 4K resolution. At least at least get a sense of enjoyment while seeing the games. Yeah, I'm actually happy some people are doing this. Thank you for you guys like at Riot Bird and MK Ison, but yeah, so many people. Thank you, really. These people like give me like sense of okay, I can enjoy this game at some point. Maybe I can enjoy my time at a time and yeah. But still, yeah, the play games, bro. But still, I'm a 24-year-old. I have job to do and also etc. Yeah, it freaking irritates me.
side walking to the step of its own drum, really. And to be clear, we're not talking about like history or historical inaccuracies or anything
No,
like
no,
that,
no, no.
because for one thing, like we're just not an expert. But
Yeah, that's good, bro. That's very good. We're not going to talk about that bullshit here. Yeah. We're not going to talk about the bullshit here. That's true. Bro, see, bro. Fucking see. The up is Ghost of Tsushima and down is AC Shadow.
also from a cursory search, it seems like both games have their fair share of inaccuracies. That's a rabbit hole.
Nah, the thing, bro. Yeah, you said you don't want to talk about it, but why you comparing the inaccuracies? The Ghost of Tsushima never said we want to make it historically accurate, historically authentic. The freaking Casey Shadow said that we want to make it historically authentic. We want to respect that culture. We want to do this, that. We want to do that. Yeah, these are the people that said that, not Ghost of Tsushima people. Nah, they didn't say that. Don't ever try to compare Ghost of Tsushima with this shit. This shit. Don't ever try to compare them.
Hole you could spend hours in, but for this video, we're talking about the features and graphics and
That's
gameplay
true.
of both games. So to start off with, we're talking about the features and graphics and
Proceed, bro. Yeah.
accuracies. That's a rabbit hole
Yeah.
you could
Fuck it.
spend hours in, but for this video, we're talking about the features and graphics
See the freaking comparison, bro.
and gameplay
See.
of both games. So, to start off with the obvious, let's talk maps. Ghost of Tsushima is set entirely on the islands of Tsushima and Iki, while Shadows takes place in a fairly large chunk of central Japan that actually includes several major cities like Osaka and Sakai. From what we've been able to find, it appears that the consensus is that the area of Tsushima is about 11 square miles, which is relatively small for an open world game, but Sucker Punch managed to do a lot with relatively little space. It feels large, even if technically it's not the biggest.
Freaking see, bro. Freaking see. Like yeah, freaking see. Like yeah. Let me put this on sticky. No. I think I can watch 1080p. Yeah. I think I can watch.
Now, in the
Freaking
case
see, bro.
of Assassin's Creed Shadows, it feels big.
Yeah. it looks very much like a generic open world. It looks very much like a generic open world. Like yeah, let's take some mountains and let's put some trees. Let's call it a day. That's what it looks like. But see here, it has that aesthetic. It has that like artistic play that looks that looks way better and interesting. See,
Now, in the case of Assassin's Creed Shadows, it
see,
feels big because it is big. The game is still new, so estimates are kind of all over the place, but we've seen people claim that the map in the latest AC here is between 31 and 55 square miles.
who is a fuck, bro? Who is a fuck? If I have to say, I enjoy San Andreas, man. I enjoy San Andreas more than GTA 5. Yeah, still San Andreas is less area. San Andreas is very much what? Yeah, very much like what? I forgot the word again. Very much small area compared to GTA 5, but still I enjoy San Andreas because San Andreas has its own place compared to GTA 5. Simple as that. Yeah. I don't give a fuck about which is not. I give a fuck about which is entertainable and which gives me so much fun. Simple as that.
Look, whether or not that's true, no matter how you slice it, Shadows has a much bigger map. And if you spent any time playing the game, then the general size of the map is just abundantly clear. It feels
It looks good. It looks good. Yeah. If I have to say that the nighttime is so cool. The nighttime is so cool, bro. Yeah. Especially the fog and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. The nighttime is so cool, but daytime in AC Shadows is miserable. Miserable. So miserable. Night Nighttime, yeah, daytime is like so miserable. I don't know what's going on with their head, but still, yeah. The daytime is so miserable. Like, it doesn't have anything good. It doesn't have anything good. Yeah, I'm not saying, yo, it's bad. It doesn't have anything good. It's like, yeah, it's like seeing a wall. A poster that doesn't have anything good. Yeah, like it's just miserable, yeah.
massive, and it takes a long time to get anywhere.
Like, see here. It's not bad, but it's also not good compared to Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima did way better, bro. Yeah, way better. Like how they actually handled this whole war, day and nighttime cycles properly, and also like yeah, the lighting effects and everything, bro. The Ghost of Tsushima did like yeah, wonderful job. But Shadows is like only good at nighttime, but daytime is like what am I even watching?
The map of Shadows may be bigger, but the variety of places you explore is actually surprisingly similar. For being set
Ah,
on such a tiny island, Tsushima had some very diverse biomes.
he actually said it. He actually said it, bro. Yeah. He actually said it. Like for example, bro, yeah, the places in the shadows is like, yeah, it has so many people, but still the places be like looks same, similar. Why? The randomness in this game, the randomness in the edge shadows is like nothing. But Ghost of Tsushima, damn son, almost wherever you go, the change in aesthetics is like one of the best part. Yeah, I'm not even talking about like different places. No, I'm talking about like the change in the aesthetics. One in one way it's like very much pleasant, and one where it's like very much like artistic, and one place it's like some kind of like horror feel, but it's not horror, but like has this kind of like yeah mysterious feel. Yeah, still really you need to play Ghost of Tsushima to understand how much good, bro. Yeah, or at least go watch Red videos fully. You understand like how much great that game was. Yeah.
from temperate forests to foggy swamps and bamboo groves and plains to snowy mountains. This is a sucker punch creation. The real
Yeah.
Tsushima isn't nearly big enough to have that kind of environmental diversity. They changed things to make it just a more interesting place to explore. One thing
See,
Shadows has that Tsushima doesn't are large cities and towns with huge castles. Now, because Ghost is set during the Mongol invasion of 1274, NPCs are pretty thin. The map is mostly a war zone, dotted with enemy camps and abandoned, burned out villages. There are a few places with signs of life, but it's not a lot. The nature of the setting means that the largest town you find are still relatively small by most metrics and don't really have a lot going on. And in comparison, Shadows has tons of NPCs, large cities just brimming with life and culture and shops, and it does a decent job trying to show that off. There's a lot of NPC business going on in the background, and while NPC AI and interactions have never really been one of Assassin's Creed's strengths, the animation work does a lot to make the random background NPCs feel like they're living parts of the world. Even if they're just doing a few repetitive actions over and over again, it's still pretty cool to see in motion. Now,
but NPC AI animations, bro. They don't have proper what is that? Yeah, they don't have proper threat detection. Yeah, they don't have proper threat detection. What I meant was when you kill someone, the NPCs just roam around. They don't even like point at you when these people come to arrest you. And even the police in the HE shadows, dude, they are worse. They are worse. Like for example, take this Asuke. Asuke kills someone, and he can easily say like, yeah, I'm not, and they be like, no, okay, you know what? And they go and search, and they just leave you, even though you're in the spot of murder. What is going on with that game, bro? Yeah.
the same is kind of true for Ghost of Tsushima as well, but Shadows still just has more reactive NPCs. In Shadows, NPCs will run for cover when it rains. Not all, but some. While in Ghost, people don't react to the rain at all. They just kind of stand around and go about their business. That's just one example. That doesn't necessarily prove anything. It's not a big deal because neither game is really all that interested in creating these believable living NPCs like a Rockstar or a Bethesda game or whatever. Graphically,
Well, those games are meant to be like that. Yeah.
Shadows is the more technically impressive game, which shouldn't come as a surprise given, the 5-year gap between titles. But Ghost of Tsushima still looks great, and depending
Ooh.
on your perspective and your preference, it actually might look better to you. It all comes
Yeah. It looks better to me.
down to art design versus raw fidelity. Ghost has more of like a dreamlike, kind of heightened atmosphere where leaves are always swirling majestically through the air and every vista you stumble upon looks like a painting come to life. It feels like
Yeah.
it's always a sunset, it's always beautiful, it's always well lit. It's just heightened and more hazy, more vivid and striking than what you'd expect to see in reality. It's one of those games that just begs you to stop and switch to photo mode when you want. Now,
Really true. Really true. Yeah.
in comparison, Shadows is going for a more grounded and more realistic look, at least when it comes to world design. In that regard, it's very
Yeah, as I said, bro, yeah, the world is good. The world is good. I actually give points for shadows world building game. I give you points for that. Really, the world is good, but in the comparison of Tsushima, a five. Yeah, because Tsushima is not realistic, bro, but still it gives that edge. Okay, we can explore this world while not being bored, and we can explore this world while being immersed. The Tsushima did that, but this game didn't did that. Yeah, you get me right? The world building is like, yeah, the yeah, like every part of the game immerses me. Not even like world building, every part of the game immerses me. The world building is like one of the elements that immerse me more because I need to go from point A to point B. How I go from point A to point B, right? From those lands. When I go from those lands, I need to immerse myself, otherwise I get bored. But the world building is like, yeah, the world building like make me like, yeah, enjoy this travel. Enjoy this travel from point A to point B. But Shadows didn't did that. As I said, the world looks great. but it didn't immerse me. That's the problem. Yeah, but still, yeah, I give points to AC Shadow's team who made environments. Like, yeah, they did a better job. They did a better job. I actually see this in the past video too. AC Shadow, yeah, the Ubisoft has one of the good things that actually make world building way much cooler. Yeah, like what they did with, what is that game? Yeah, Star Wars Outlast. Like they did fantastic, and all fantastic world building, and also like this game, bro. Yeah, Mirage. It has a good world building, and also like this game. What is that game? Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the a world game, bro. Yeah, AC Shadows world game. Yeah, Valhalla. Yeah, it has also one of the cool world buildings. They always have cool world buildings, but they forgot the plot when it comes to making games properly. Yeah,
Very similar to past Assassin's Creed titles. It's just that everything looks better. One thing that stands out in Shadows compared to every other AC game and even Ghosts is just how dense the world is. Trees and tall grass are everywhere. Forests in this game feel like real forests. They're often
I don't say they look real forests. I don't say that. Nah.
so thick that they feel like they're impenetrable. Towns and cities are bursting with details. The way water flows looks fantastic a lot of the time. With a PS5
What?
Pro or a beefy PC, this game just looks really impressive. I think the key term here is cinematic.
That is the problem with me, bro. Yeah, that is the problem. Why? Yeah, that is the problem with me when it comes to these kind of games. Like, yeah, they they need like beefy PCs, or like PS5s and etc. to enjoy this game properly, to enjoy this game like world building and etc. But I don't. But those things doesn't work properly on my RTX 2060 Super. Yeah, those things doesn't work because I need to low my graphics to make it work. But Ghost of Tsushima, not the case. I can enjoy world building, everything about the game, by not getting a very big dip in FPS. And also I can play it on high settings with 1440p. See, that's what I'm saying. These games like AC Shadows, they need raw performance to make game look good. But Ghost of Tsushima don't need that. Nah, Ghost of Tsushima never need that. Ah, you should be able to understand, bro. Yeah, the raw performance graphics is never the good ideal graphics. The raw performance graphics is never the good ideal graphics. The ideal graphics are the graphics that actually great in looks great in every 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 system. Yeah, every system. Like how Cyberpunk do. Like, yeah, even if you lower the setting, the Cyberpunk looks almost same in almost all settings. The high settings look same. The medium settings look same. The low settings look same because they did that game by thinking like, yeah, everyone should enjoy this world building. World building, yeah. World building. That is the reason that is the reason we have like same graphic, the same way of looking graphics, but different fidelity. Yeah. But AC Shadows, nah. Yeah.
So Ghost of Tsushima is cinematic, while
Ooh.
Shadows is not, at least not as much out in the world. The team at Sucker Punch really put in a lot of effort to make their game feel like you're playing a movie, which is often a
Yeah.
criticism of Sony's first party games, like, oh, you're just playing a movie. But in this case, it's true and a strength rather than a weakness. It looks awesome. You know, from the way cutscenes are directed to things like the intense standoffs you can initiate to the very Witcher 3 kind of style side quests, the game is trying to immerse you in a story more than a world.
Yeah.
Now, in Shadows,
See, bro, yeah. See. Yeah. That is the main part of the game. That is the main part of the game. You just immerse in the world and the story. This is the main part of the game. That's the reason the game actually works very well. But AC Shadows didn't try to do that any of it.
Shadows, the story often feels a little bit more like an afterthought, but in
Yeah,
Ghost, the story is really woven into everything, even the gameplay. Jin starts off as a noble samurai, and over the course of the story, his sense of honor and duty slowly change as he follows the path of the ghost. The evolution into a stealth killing machine isn't just a mechanic, it kind of ties directly into the story. Now, Shadows isn't
yeah.
really
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about Ghost. I actually wanted to talk about Ghost of Tsushima. Like, bro, the start of this channel, but I don't know when to start. But thanks to Gameranx, bro, yeah, I actually talking about Ghost of Tsushima now, yeah. Ghost of Tsushima is like one of the great games. If I had to say it's a peak cinema. It's a peak cinema. Yeah, I know. And also like I also know like one of the games I say in so many videos because I don't put Ghost of Tsushima on the heights like Cyberpunk or Witcher 3 because they are like masterpieces for me. But Ghost of Tsushima, it's masterpiece, but I don't talk much about that. Yeah, yeah. But still, I play the game. I play the game at least. I played the game at least 2 times. Yeah, but still, I want to play it. I want to play it once again. But as you know, the adult type of stuff, man.
really doing thematic stuff like that. And it doesn't really have to. But for us, it's what makes these games feel so
Yeah,
different, even when many parts of them are actually very similar. They're both open world, kind of stealth action games after all, so you'll be doing a lot of enemy base infiltrating, stealth
see, bro. Yeah, the finishers be like, yeah, it's a finisher.
kind of stealth action games after all, so you'll be doing a lot of enemy base infiltrating, stealth
See,
kills, and open combat in both, but each game has its own strengths. Shadows, we've seen a lot of people saying that it has some of the better combat in the whole Assassin's Creed
huh?
series up to this point, but it's still not as good as what we got in Ghosts. On the
Yeah,
flip side, while stealth in both games is pretty comparable, the stealth in AC Shadows, while streamlined, still has more depth of options and is just a little bit more complex and interesting. It's stealth forward. For as much as it doesn't compare to Ghost's combat, Shadows really did step up the game with the new combat system. It's a little bit more hard hitting. It feels a little
well, yeah. If you comparing with old AC Shadows games, yeah, old AC games, yeah. But if you compare with Ghost of Tsushima, nah, nah, not even, not even like they scratched. Nah, not even like they scratched. They just miles apart. Really, bro. Really, they just miles apart. I don't even know how they even fumbled that hard. They know. The Ubisoft knows. Yo, there is a game that actually did way better than what we did. We need to pitch up. But they didn't even did that. Yeah, they just like yeah fuck it. We do what we do. That is the reason your game doesn't getting that many players, that many copies, that many players in the stream, that many players everywhere. Yeah, that is the reason you're not getting that many players. Okay. When we have a great game like Ghost of Tsushima with great story, why you want to play your game that is mediocre at best? Yeah, no one wants to play a game just because open world. Yeah, you're not doing what GT5 did, where we can roam around and do whatever we want. Nah, you're trying to sell a game with open world. That doesn't work. Yeah, not even game. You're trying to sell a story with open world game. That doesn't work because the story itself is abysmal as the story itself is abysmal fuck. Yeah, it's a fuck fest, bro. Yeah, if I have to say, yeah.
better. There's a couple of cool weapon varieties. There's some refreshing changes here and there, and with two very different characters to pick from.
Yeah, it's actually like same thing as Cyberpunk, but in the opposite. Yeah, in the Cyberpunk, we have this like very much bad stuff going on with the release, like world building shit and etc. Like like the world just said, "Nah, fuck it. I'm not going to play well." But the story is great. The sole reason the game actually lived, and we talked about this even now because of the story. Yeah, if the story is not good, the game would be dead. The game would be dead by end of 2021. Yeah, the game would be dead. The soul is in the game actually like lose because of the story. But the same thing is happening in the AC Shadows, but in the opposite. The world looks great. Everything looks great. Yeah, even the combat is like shit, but still it is playable. But the story, no, fuck it. We don't give a fuck about it. Yeah, but yeah, if it is like that, the game will definitely fail, bro. Yeah, you trying to sell us a single player game, single player game. For a single player game, what you giving? Nothing. The combat is like the combat is okay, and the world exploration is shit. World exploration. I'm not saying world building. World exploration is shit. Yeah, and also it doesn't have anything immersive in it. Why you want to play your game?
In Shadows, still, the fighting in Ghost is just better. It's undeniable.
Ooh,
It's all just so visceral and intense.
yeah,
Combat in Ghost is super responsive, enemies are vicious and will gang up on you, and death can come in seconds. Another example of how cinematic Ghost can be is actually in the death animations. They could have easily just finished with a generic, "you're dead" on screen, but instead, Jin falls, and an enemy always finishes him off right on the ground there, followed by a hard cut to black. It's just so brutal. Look, we're not saying that Ghost is like the hardest game or anything. Once you get the
yeah.
hang of the combat,
It's not hard. It's immersive. Yeah, really, bro. Yeah, it's not hard like what is that game? Elden Ring. Yeah, where you like yeah. You need to be a freak to play that game. Like yeah, you need to become a freak to play that game. Yeah. I'm sorry for calling you guys for calling the L for calling the Souls players as freaks, but still, bro, you need to become a freak because I played that game as a freak. Like yeah, at the start of the game, you just die. You need to turn on the freak mode. Why in the fuck they are killing me? You need to turn on the freak mode to enjoy that game. Like yeah, you die and die and die and die. At one point you success. At one point you succeed. That is the gameplay of that is the gameplay of that game. Yeah, but Tsushima is not there. Yeah, it's hard, but once you get used to it, you become the pro at the game easily. Yeah, it is not that hard, but it's also not that easy. It is just hard when they gang upon you, but when you learn thought moves and etc., it becomes very easy. It becomes very easy. Yeah, it becomes very easy. And also like yeah, the game, the sword play, bro. Yeah, if I had to, the sword play is like very much cool. Like you kind of feels like yeah, you kind of feels like in anime and in the movies, like what samurais do. The same thing is happening in this game. Like yeah, it no, I'm not saying cinematic. The moments are like what we see in the movies and the anime are exactly the same in Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, those are the samurais I know, and the same thing happening in here. But in the shadows, bro. Yeah, what the fuck is happening with that game? They're not samurai. They're just drawing swords. That's it. They're just drawing swords and like yeah, and just using their swords. That's it. There's nothing more than that. Like, the AC shadows probably very hard. They could have took their time to make a great game, but they said now fuck it.
it's easy to become pretty badass.
Or maybe they don't have talent to make the proper game like Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, they don't have talent. That's probably one of the major drawbacks of the game. Yeah, I actually had it somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong, but still, I had it somewhere. The AC Shadows team is completely filled with newbies. Newbies, almost like a big part of team is filled with newbies, and only a small part of team that actually like veterans. Only a small part, but big part of the team is filled with newbies. Yeah, when you have that many newbies, this is what happens. The game that doesn't make sense. We playing a sport play, bro. We playing a sport play. Why in the hell the sport play looks like a child's play? Yeah, yeah. That's probably one of the culprits. Yeah, we playing a sport play, but the sport play looks like a child play.
fast and unstoppable, but it just feels more visceral and
Yeah,
responsive. The flick of the sword, the clang of a weapon just really, really hits hard. In contrast, Shadows' combat still does feel a lot like Assassin's Creed Origins, or at least the DNA is still very much there. It's not quite as floaty and imprecise as it used to be, but there are still moments where you're slashing away at an enemy with the same attack and they're just barely reacting at all. Sometimes you don't dodge when it feels like you should, or your character doesn't react to your button press. It's not all the time, but it's a lot more often than in Ghost. I think the combat differences are really clear when you have a big
yeah.
showdown.
Yes, yes, yeah. I didn't actually like the Odyssey combat. Yeah, Odyssey combat, bro. Yeah, I just climb. Yeah, I didn't actually like Odyssey combat. I just climbed with some very tall building and just arrowed them until they dead. Really? Yeah, the responsiveness in the Odyssey is like not that much good. Yeah.
As Yasuke against like a Ronin or something like that, and then you have a showdown as Jin against some Ronin. It's just a completely different type of feel and flavor, and Ghost of Tsushima really nails that one quick, perfect strike, like that Zen feeling. You know, that cinematic samurai showdown where two swords
Yeah.
swing and one man falls. Ghost of Tsushima, in our mind, absolutely nails that. And unfortunately, Assassin's Creed Shadows just can't come close. Where it excels is when it feels like Tenchu and you're running around on a rooftop and you're stabbing a dude. And on the flip side, the stealth in Ghost is mostly serviceable. It's purposely simplified, and people can have some badass moments with it for sure, especially if you're really good at just really firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah. You don't say it's simplified. I say it's easy. But you can make it hard for yourself by doing these aerobatics and stuff. You can make it hard for yourself. You can make it hard for yourself by doing these aerobatics and stuff. Yeah. Ooh.
But in comparison to Shadows, it doesn't hold up quite as well. In Ghost, enemies are pretty nearsighted and pretty predictable. With the right upgrades, clearing out a Mongol base can be pretty simple. They're practically begging to be killed. The bases themselves are also usually very basic, mostly just a collection of huts or a house or two, maybe some cliffs or some water to add some character to the setting, but nothing really too elaborate. In Shadows, there's finally some meat to the stealth. It's not as good as what you'd expect to get in like a dedicated stealth game. Like I said in the Before You Buy, it's not like, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory or anything like that, but for an open world hybrid like this, the options are impressive. Being able to actually go prone and crawl in one of these games is huge and feels great. Enemies are way more observant than they've been in previous games. They notice you from further away, and they actually even start looking up sometimes when they notice dead people. I'm not saying that the enemies in Shadows aren't exploitable. They totally still are. It's still an Assassin's Creed game, but they do make things harder for you. Both games have the exact same types of distraction tool. In Ghosts, it's the wind chimes, and in Shadows, it's the shinobi bell. In Ghost, you can use the chimes to make an enemy go wherever you want. They always go after the noise and basically go exactly where you threw it. But in Shadows, sometimes they ignore the sound if they're hunting you, or disregard it if you try to do the same trick twice. There are also certain enemies who are harder to assassinate in Shadows, which might annoy old school Assassin's Creed purists like me, yeah, but it does make the stealth more difficult and forces you to change up your strategy when they're around.
Well, bro. Yeah. It's not difficult. He freaking wear a armor, bro. He freaking wear a big armor and a big body. How are you going to stealth him? It's not hard.
Are you sure you want to fight me? Crush you and enjoy it!
Bro, the freaking dialogues, bro. Yeah. The freaking voice acting and dialogues, like, nah. Ah, who the hell? Who the hell in the charge of voice acting? They freaking did a worst job.
And the places you sneak through are a lot more complex as well. Castles are pretty big affairs with multiple layers of defenses that you can tackle in a lot of different ways and, you know, play with as a different character. They're generally just a lot more interesting than the most basic bad guy camps in Ghost. And overall, the range of movement and stealth options in Shadows is kind of better. Ghost feels a little simplistic and limited in this comparison. You're not crawling around, you're not crouching. You have a grappling hook, yes, but you can't use it to like hide on the ceiling, which you can do in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that's pretty badass. Ghost clearly took the more video gamey, like smooth approach to sneaking, while Shadows is a little bit more of a stealth simulations with differences in day and night patterns and an actual visibility system where you can hide in the dark. It's the sort of thing that makes Shadows have the overall better stealth system, even if what is in Ghost is not bad at all. And moving on from the big picture stuff, there's a lot of items and equipment that are just very similar in both games. Things like the grappling hook, like I said, are functionally identical in both. You go up on a tree, you use it to swing across to something. It's the same in both games. And the grapple feels good in both games, but in this case, it's actually a little more versatile in Shadows. There's also like a meditation style minigame in both as well. And in this case, they both kind of work to give you that impression of quiet reflection, you know, without really interrupting the game too much. The presentation of them in Ghost feels a little bit more naturalist and a little less intrusive and chill compared to Shadows, but for the most part, they're very similar mechanically, and they're kind of going for the same thing. And both games have guidance mechanics as well. Ghost had the very innovative guiding winds, which was like a new way to push players toward an objective without having like to cover the screen in a big intrusive quest marker or a line or
Oh, I actually like this very well. Like for example, the wind going and everywhere. Like yeah, I actually like that very well. Really, it is like one of the like mysterious ways that the stories tell. Like yeah, the wind takes you. The wind guides you to your destination. Yeah, I actually like that very much. Yeah, really.
or anything like that, because instead a helpful gust of wind just points you in the direction you need to go, and it can be triggered with the press of a button.
Straw hats, ride!
Now, in comparison, the Pathfinder in Shadows is a lot more basic. It's just a line that draws the trail in the direction that you need to be going. It's
It's
simple.
a freaking video game. It's a freaking video game, bro. Yeah, this is one of the things. Like yeah, okay, it's a video game. We give it a pass. But Tsushima, it's immersion. Immersion as fuck, bro.
Effective, but it's kind of boring. The guiding winds were legitimately an innovation in 2020, and there still hasn't really been anything else in open world games to match it. So
Yeah.
all Assassin's Creed do is just probably rip it off, which they didn't, or just, you know, do what they've always done. So they went with the second option, a line on the ground, follow it, go have fun. And interestingly enough, the story of Assassin's Creed Shadows versus Ghost of Tsushima is much like the narratives of both games, at least partially innovation versus tradition. Ghost is the innovator. It brought in some properly visceral combat into the open world genre.
Ooh.
It found creative ways to work around some of the less immersive elements like waypoints, and they imbued the game with this really cool dreamlike vibe to justify its anachronisms. Now look, Shadows isn't the same old Assassin's Creed, they changed it up in some ways, but at the core, it's not that far from its previous games. It's not a complete reboot for the series, it's more like an incremental update or a little bit of a refresh that fixes a lot of things, but fundamentally still feels
I like that kick. Yeah, I like that kick.
like the series that we've been playing for a while now. And that's not automatically a bad thing. I mean, these newer Assassin's Creed games have plenty of lovers, they sell millions and billions of copies, and then there's the old school purists who still take issue with it. Again, it just shows that the creators of AC Shadows here just had different priorities. Both games have their strengths and weaknesses, and honestly, you can like them both for different reasons. Before this came out, we felt like it was going to be very hard not to compare it to Ghost in a bad way, but ultimately, when you play both, you realize there's room for both. They're perfectly fine existing side by side in our minds. The real fight is still brewing in the battle of 2025 open world Sengoku era stealth games between Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ghost of Tsushima's upcoming sequel, Ghosts of Yotei. Both of those games are going to have even more in common. They're both set during the same time period and on mainland Japan. Sucker Punch has got another like Prototype versus Infamous situation brewing this time, and we're just excited to see how Shadows fares against a Ghost game made exclusively for next-gen systems. Look, these types of battles, these giants between like two game developers making games that are similar, doesn't really matter as long as they all kind of end up good. More games that actually just end up being good is just always a win for everybody. But hey, those are two games we just wanted to talk about. They're similar. We wanted to throw them up together, kind of gen systems.
No. Yeah, the Soccer Punch actually nailed it. Yeah, the Soccer Punch actually nailed it.
Look, these types of battles, these giants between like two game developers making games that are similar, doesn't really matter as long as they all.
Like we can see, bro. Yeah, like we can see. The freaking yeah, that is the mountain. Like yeah, I forgot the name. I forgot the name. Yeah, Fuji. Yeah, Mount Fuji. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it's Mount Fuji. Yeah, you can see it, bro. Like yeah, in every part of the way, Ghost of Tsushima is like one of the best games that actually came in the last decade. That actually came in the last decade. Yeah, one of the masterpieces. Yeah, it is like one of the groundbreaking games, bro. Yeah, the AC Shadows. Nah, fuck it. It's a fucking mess. The story is bad. The combat is bad. Freaking part of the game is bad, other than open world. Why people even talking about that game? Why people even why people even want to play that game when they have a better version like Ghost of Tsushima? Yeah, the freaking stealth. So what? So what? You probably do the stealth at night time. I probably do that maybe like 10 locations. That's it. After 10 locations, it becomes repetitive. It becomes repetitive. But Tsushima, you can do more than the bro. Yeah, it's probably the first time I actually didn't mock AC Shadows for historical inaccuracies they did in the game. It's probably the first video I did. Yeah, and also thanks to Gameranx for making this video. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Tsushima like so many days, but I don't know what to say. Yeah, I don't know how to start. Thanks to you guys actually reacted to it, and also like yeah, let's see what he said.
Wanted to talk about. They're similar. We wanted to throw them up together, kind of hash out some of the differences because it is an interesting conversation. Even though I was pretty harsh on Assassin's Creed Shadows, probably out of a lot of the reviews out there, I still think it has its merits. It has some good parts, and it was worth talking about today with this. So
What he's saying was, yeah, I want to make a video because still Assassin's Creed, fuck it. AC Shadows is still a big thing in the gaming space. Yeah, let's make some videos and get some views. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. But still, yeah, comparing with the Ghost of Tsushima, it's a big move, yeah. Because yeah, the game is just masterpiece. He just compared a masterpiece with a cheap copy.
let us know what you guys think in the comments. If you've played both of these games by now, we'd love to know your opinion, like your honest, real thoughts. Good conversation can be had. So if you like this video and you like talking games with us every single day, clicking the like button's all you got to do.
Well, I actually subscribe to you guys, yeah, because I like you guys. Ghost of Tsushima is an interactive piece of art. I'm about 15 hours in the Shadows. I can say that Ghost of Tsushima is a far better game. Shadows has been decent and fun to play, but Ghost of Tsushima is on another level. Bro, yeah, really, like, yeah.
And others, but we're not here to tell you what to think. We just found that it was interesting that we have two open world stealth action.
That's true, yeah. That's true. No game journalist said this in the past 10 years. The game just makes me want to play Ghost of Tsushima again because the game is brilliant. It's a masterpiece interactive filmic narrative. The real comparison is gonna be a Ghost of Yota and Shadow since they are closer in game settings release date. Well, still, it's nothing, bro. Yeah, when you remove the time frame, when you remove the time frame, when you remove the time frame and the world building, still Tsushima wins. The Tsushima has great combat. Tsushima has great immersion. Yeah, Tsushima has great story. Please make this comparison again once. Ghost of yeah. one of the things you didn't mention was cost of making these games. Ghost of Tsushima, 600 Ghost of Tsushima, 60 million. AC Shadow, 300 plus million. It's absolutely insane how Sucker Punch was able to create a masterpiece with a fraction of budget. Still, still, bro, it's a freaking 200 million. Still, it's better compared to 300 plus million. Well, well, that's true. Yeah, it's a PS4, bro. Yeah, huh? Well, it's a choice it's a choice that doesn't even make sense. But still, we have a choice. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, bro. The weather changes is nothing. Yeah. If I had to say the weather changes did very pretty well in like this game. Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy and GTA 5. Yeah. It's not the good, but still, yeah, it is there in GTA 5. But Hogwarts Legacy is like one of the best when it compares to weather changes. Yeah. You liking the combat, bro? Like, yeah, really, like, what is there in the combat? It's freaking child play. Yeah, whatever, whatever, man, whatever. Still, guys, yeah, I think Ghost of Tsushima is way better game compared to Shadows. Yeah, I didn't play the game, but I just following Red Red Let's Play. Yeah, when I'm watching the Red Red Let's Play, I have this thought. It's not a game. It's not a game not for me. It's a game not for me. Yeah, Shadows is not a game not for me because I can easily download Tsushima from my store, that from my Epic Store, and just play the game. It's a freaking great game, bro. When I have a great game, why I want to play the mediocre game like AC Shadows when the story is dismal as fuck? Huh? The people who making AC Shadows game need to understand that you freaking giving us a single player game. Okay, it's not a gacha game where we just go and have fun. Nah, it's a freaking single player game. Don't fucking give us some story, motherfuckers. Whatever, guys. Yeah, whatever. I'll see you guys back. Bye.